With that.
Okay, here we go. Hey, this is Andy here. I'm coming to you today from Anarchapulco in Acapulco, Mexico, and I am here with a very special guest, the Bitcoin Jesus, Roger Ver. I'll start out asking you, how did you get into Bitcoin? I mean, I heard that you put like $20,000 into Bitcoin in the early days. What made you confident to do that, and how did you find out about Bitcoin?
So I grew up in Silicon Valley, and I've been around computers all my life. But I also spent a whole bunch of time studying economics, and that was my big hobby. And so when I heard about Bitcoin, I could understand the computer science side, and I could understand the economic side. And I knew for sure people were going to start using Bitcoin as money. So the first step was to go out and buy some Bitcoin. The next step was to start investing in all sorts of Bitcoin businesses that would make it easier for people to use as Bitcoin as money.
And what year did you get into Bitcoin?
That was in February of 2011.
Now I understand you had been a member of the Libertarian Party in California before that?
Yeah, probably since 1996 or 7 or so.
And I'm a member of the Libertarian Party also, and I was in the LP of California at one time myself. Now I don't know if we were in during the same time period, but I was in late 90s, early to mid 2000s in California.
Same time period.
What did you ran for office as a Libertarian Party candidate? What did you run for?
I ran for California State Assembly as a Libertarian on the platform that if I were elected, I'd repeal as many laws as I possibly could, repeal as many taxes as I possibly could, and I wouldn't even accept a salary because that salary would come from taxes, and maybe people don't want to pay taxes for my salary.
What year did you run, and what % of the vote did you get?
That was the year 2000, and I think maybe I got 1.5 or 2% of the vote, something like that.
Well, I bet you could do a lot better today, but you actually, I understand you revoked your American citizenship?
Yep, I renounced my U.S. citizenship over 4 years ago now, and my only regret is that I didn't do that earlier.
What led to you renouncing your American citizenship?
I hadn't lived in the U.S. for over a decade and wasn't ever planning to live there ever again, so it seemed like more of a liability than a benefit.
Wow. Now, do you live in Japan now?
Yep, I live in Japan part of the year. I live in St. Kitts part of the year as well, which is where I have citizenship now.
Oh, now I heard that, this is sort of on a side note, that you take Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I do, yeah.
I'm a big mixed martial arts fan myself.
Okay.
Yeah. How long have you been taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Probably about 10 years now. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt and train as often as I can.
Who do you train under?
Yuki Ishikawa in Tokyo, Japan. It's called Carpe
Is he a
Diem.
former mixed martial arts fighter?
It's a pretty common Japanese name.
Oh, okay. There's a mixed martial arts fighter that has a similar name. Now, anyway, I'm really excited about a new project I heard that you're doing called the Free Society Project. How far?
Lots of mixed martial arts guys that come to our gym though. Like if you're into that, like Genki Sudo has come.
Oh yeah.
Uno has
oh
come,
yeah. Genki Sudo's.
has come.
Oh, I love
So,
those guys.
We have some pretty awesome guys.
Oh man, if I ever go to Japan, I'd love to.
Keitaro Nakamura comes occasionally. He's
Oh,
a
wow.
UFC fighter. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, if I'm ever in Japan, I really want to come by. I've been wanting to go to Japan for years anyway. But anyway, I'd like to talk to you about your Free Society project. You want to start a new libertarian country.
You want to start a non-country.
Non-country, okay. And how far along are you on this project?
Pretty far along. We have more than $100 million US of capital committed to it already. And we're looking to allow the public to participate as well. And we're going to go around to a bunch of existing governments and say, hey, sell us some of your land that you're not using and grant us sovereignty with it, and we'll set up the world's first non-country on that land.
By any chance, did you get this idea from Doug Casey?
Doug Casey was definitely a big influence on this.
Okay, because he's had that. I've had similar ideas myself. Now, I wrote an article that's posted online called The Libertarian Zone, which is kind of my concept to how to put together a libertarian society, kind of along the same lines you're talking about. And one of the common questions people have is, how would you defend the libertarian society? And not only with I'm talking external invasion, but I'm also talking about like a criminal justice system for the libertarian society. What are your thoughts on that real quick?
So David Friedman refers to that as the hard problem. How do you provide for national defense without having some centralized government? And I think a man named Jim Bell came up with a solution to that problem.
Oh!
Yeah, it sounds like
the
you know
assassination politics, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, be careful about trying that at home. Anyway, now would you also have like a kind of a well-regulated citizens militia, obviously done on a voluntary basis, but do you think it would be important for the citizens of or residents of the Free Society Project to be well armed and kind of engage in militia training?
Our intent is to allow people to engage in anything that's peaceful.
Okay. Now, would you?
Leonard Reed there for those.
Now the idea I've had would be for people to sign a contract to if you want to move into the what I call the libertarian zone, to sign a contract agreeing to basically abide by the non-aggression principle and just some kind of basic rules for living in the libertarian zone. Would you agree with that? That's a good idea? Are you all going to have something along that lines?
There'll be an initial constitution, which are basically the rules of the land there that everybody's agreeing to when they get started there.
And what if somebody violates the contract?
We'll have to figure out how to solve that issue.
Yeah, I think that, you know, you may have heard of Hans Hermann Hoppe, and he talks about physical removal from covenant communities. Would you agree with it if a person, you know, violates the tenets of the free society contract, that it could lead to their physical removal?
I think that sounds like a very reasonable solution, but at the end of the day, the solutions aren't going to be centrally planned. People are just going to have to figure out what the best solution is.
And what about a court system for the libertarian or the free society project?
The same answer. It's not going to be centrally planned. At the end of the day, we'll have to figure out what the market thinks is the best way to handle those sorts of things.
And how can people get involved? I mean, I'm interested in getting involved in this idea. If you can get this started, and if I can help you, anything I can do to help, I may be interested in moving there.
Sure.
So how can people get involved?
Head on over to freesociety.com and give us your email address, and that's the first step.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot.